I know this is not accurate, but it seems sometimes that in Pakistan, it's more sensitive to these mullahs for people. The idea of that some people believe that Muhammad is a prophet, but he's not the last prophet, triggers them a lot more than people who don't even think Muhammad is a prophet.
Yeah,
Ahmadis. It's because of Ahmadis.
It's the Ahmadi aspect, right? And that's why they want to say Khatam and Nabuin and all that stuff, because they want
I know, but is it like if you let's say you're not even an Ahmadi or anything, but if you're like, I believe in the Quran, I believe in Prophet Muhammad, I think he was a prophet, not the last prophet, but a prophet. I think you're gonna get people are gonna pull out their hair and try to murder you more than you say no, I'm not even a Muslim, right? I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. No, you're absolutely right, and I think and it is because of the Ahmadi aspect, because then they immediately think that you're an Ahmadi because you're the follower of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. But by the way, something similar could have happened to Iran as well. But Iran with Baha'i faith, they just said, okay, but they said, well, we're not even Muslims anymore. So which could have been very similar if he had insisted that Baha'i is an extension of Islam. And this is the final.
Well, Baha'is are easier for a lot of Iranians to attack because of their connections to Israel and having their temple in Haifa and the close relationship. So that is really a lot of conspiracy theories.
But didn't that start as I can't remember, but I remember reading that in that book. But didn't that start as some sort of a feminist movement? It was the Princess Kuratulain or something.
Well, no, it didn't start like that. But there was this one woman, at the beginning, who became very, very popular, and she was
killed.
No, well, she had her job off, and she was jailed, and all of that. It's but I mean, this is stuff that we had to we were never told about any of this, by the way, growing up. This was something I learned after I left Iran. But
wasn't she the daughter of the founder of the Baha'i faith? I can't remember. I think her name was Kuratulain. Was that Kuratulain?
Yeah, and she has a nickname. Now you're putting me on the spot. She has
probably Annie.
No, she's
Kuratulain. Usually, people named Kuratulain, their nickname is Annie.
Because I remember because that was. It was, but anyway. So I think she was one of the first women who took off the hijab, and that. So the source that I was reading at, and they gave
preaching
it the angle
without a hijab, which is crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was she with the iconic photo that we have now, that where this woman stands up with a hijab on a stick. So so someone was actually comparing that with her. That she was the original one. And she obviously paid a heavy price. But going back to Pakistan, because you're right, with this the final prophet, that's the main issue with Pakistan. They're stuck on that, and that is considered blasphemy as well. So government is confused; they can't decide how far they need to go. But because once you parrot the narrative, it becomes ordinary people are going to take it to the next level. And they think they see it's a virtuous thing to do. If they see that someone is a blasphemer, those women who were beating up this fellow nurse who happened to be a Christian, they were saying, well, we don't care about going to prison. We don't care about losing our jobs. She insulted our prophet. When she had it, all she had was she was doing pretty much what every Muslim does. She was saying pray to Jesus for help.
As much as all this stuff happens, and you're right, nobody's actually ever properly been executed for blasphemy, but the people who took that law into their own hands, like Mumtaz Qadri, they've been celebrated and venerated, and they've been, he murdered the governor of Punjab because he thought he was a blasphemer, showing solidarity with Asia Bibi and so on. So we all know that story. He celebrated. The other thing is, so there's that, okay, and he was executed. Credit to the government there, but there's this acquittal. Right, of that Sheikh, what's his name? Omar Sheikh,
Omar Sheikh,
Daniel Pearl, the Wall Street Journal journalist, who and they beheaded that. That's actually the first video I saw. Someone sent it to me. This was
me. I saw that was the first video as well when I first time saw it. I was like,
Facebook and before everything. And since then, I've never watched one of those videos because that
exactly
days. Okay, because one of my journalist friends sent it to me, and he's like, well, I think it's very important for everybody to watch it. And after I was like, no, I just...
I was traumatized. I was traumatized as well when I saw it.
Yeah. So and they acquitted this guy. and you saw the video, I saw the video. They acquitted this guy,
but he wasn't recognizable in the video though. But
I mean, he was convinced. Everybody knew it was him. Like it was him, right? I
the
mean,
U.S. believed it was him. Yeah, look, I mean, it's more likely it was him. I can't.
So is that why they acquitted him? Because I still can't figure out why he was acquitted. Was there this?
There was a technical problem in the prosecution. So some people now believe that you obviously know the Tana culture in Pakistan. They're not your detectives who get their degrees from in crime and law degree. They don't get that. They're just a local Tanedar who becomes a detective, and so they have no regard for the actual. They have no proper system of gathering information and collecting evidence, etc. So they apparently what happened was they were saying that the initial statement that Omar Sheikh had given had not corroborated with the actual statement that was put in by the prosecution submitted as evidence. So there were some contradictions in that statement, and then I think Omar Sheikh had also later on reneged his confession and said it was taken under duress. So there were all these technical problems that they had collected, and when it went to Supreme Court, they said, "Well, sorry, the evidence is faulty," and Supreme Court is not wrong there. So what people say now, and this is what prosecution is usually blamed, and this is one of the lowest conviction rate in any matter, whether that's robbery, murder, or the R word, any of that is one of the lowest in the world, or I think definitely one of the lowest in Asia, because the constitution is very Anglo-Saxon based, where the legal system is very Anglo-Saxon, but the practices are very they're very shanty. So people say that they deliberately sabotage their own investigation, deliberately create these contradictions in their own investigation. So when it goes to Supreme Court, or that they can just manipulate that, and then they can throw it out on technical grounds. So that's what happened. But the good thing is that the government is actually under the pump by the I think it was the first week of Biden administration, and I don't even know the names of most of the.
I don't think the Biden administration. I think that was the most severely they've ever criticized another country.
Yeah, well, it was in the first week. I mean, the White House spokesperson or chief of staff, White House chief of staff, I think he gave out a statement. Attorney General, I think, gave out a statement, and they said, well, they must not be let out of Pakistan. So they have been put in the exit control list, so they cannot go. And they actually hinted that United States is ready to accept them. So I don't know if they will be handed over to Pakistan, but apparently they are under close guard. But yeah, it's I think now it's just a matter of putting political pressure. But it's a travesty of justice.
Yeah, it's.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.